today we're going to talk about one of my favorite holidays, Halloween. We're going to talk about how Halloween originated. Halloween originated about 2,000 years ago in Ireland in the United Kingdom, and it was known as the Samhain Festival. This marked the end of summer and the beginning of winter. They believed that the night before the New Year, which is October 31st, that the living and the dead worlds would be kind of blurred together. So it is believed that the ghosts would return to the earth. To celebrate, they would build huge bonfires, and they would burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the gods. They would dress up in animal heads and skins, which does not sound very fun, and they would attempt to tell each other's fortunes. They would relight their hearths with huge bonfires to protect them during the upcoming winter months. Halloween is the melding of three holidays. In AD 43, the Roman festival, and Pomen, the Roman festival celebrated the passing of the day, and Pomen celebrated the goddess of fruit, which is how we get bobbing for apples. By the 800s, the influence of Christianity added All Saints' Day to the festival, attempting to replace the Festival of the Dead with one that the church was associated with. In AD 1000, the church would add All Souls' Day, a day to honor the dead, which ended up being celebrated much like the Samhain Festival. Together, all of these celebrations were kind of come together to be called Hallowmass. In Mexico, Latin America, and Spain, the celebration begins October 31st and it lasts for 3 days. And it is called El Dia de los Muertos. My Spanish is not very good. The day begins with candles. They light candles at altars. They bring pictures, flowers, and food and drinks that they leave for the deceased. A lot of times they'll leave water and towels so that the deceased can clean up before the big feast, which happens on the third day. They burn candles and incense to help spirits find their way home again. This is the time of year when they clean their grave sites and make their cemeteries look beautiful. And on the third day, everybody gathers for a feast. It's believed that the living and the dead celebrate together and they have a big feast. In England, they don't celebrate Halloween. Their closest thing to Halloween is on November 5th every year, and it is called Guy Fawkes Day. Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the British Parliament. He was angry with the Queen and the Church, so he put barrels of gunpowder underneath Parliament and tried to light them, but he got caught. And so now they make effigies, which are essentially like big scarecrows. Sometimes they're on sticks. Children used to walk the streets with effigies. They don't do that very often anymore. I personally have been to a Guy Fawkes Day. It was a lot of fun. They did burn effigies. Everybody brought an effigy, and you burn them in a big bonfire, and then they celebrated with hot mulled cider and wine, and everybody just kind of hung out and drank. It was a lot of fun. Today, children in the streets of England ask for a penny instead of burning an effigy, and this is as close as they get to our trick-or-treating. Our Halloween that we celebrate in America generally originated in Ireland. In Ireland today, they light bonfires, they play games, their kids dress up, parties are thrown. It's celebrated very much like how we celebrate here. In Ireland, the history of the jack-o'-lantern is a myth of a guy named Stingy Jack. And Stingy Jack invited the devil for a drink and didn't want to pay for the drink, so he had the devil turn himself into a coin. It is said that the Stingy Jack had a cross in his pocket, so when the devil coin got put in his pocket, the devil was kind of trapped. So Jack freed the devil, but made the devil promise that he couldn't take him to hell for a year. So if, Jack died, he couldn't go to hell. The next year, Jack met up with the devil again, and this time he tricked him into somehow getting in an apple tree, and Stingy Jack carved a cross in the tree so the devil couldn't get out. So Stingy Jack had the devil trapped, and in order for the devil to get out of the tree, he had to promise Stingy Jack that he wouldn't take him to hell for 10 years if he died, or come after him. Jack eventually died, and when he died, he couldn't go to heaven because God wouldn't allow him in, and the devil couldn't take him to hell. So he ended up with a coal and a turnip and walking the streets. So in Ireland and Scotland, they use turnips or potatoes, because that's their native, or beets, and they carve them, and they would leave them outside of their home to prevent evil spirits from coming in, or evil spirits like Jack. when the immigrants came to America, they found our native pumpkin, and our pumpkins work really well for jack-o'-lanterns, so we make jack-o'-lanterns. Today, our children go trick-or-treating, which is where we leave candy in bowls, and we leave it for little children dressed up. Back in the day, poor citizens would beg for food in return for promise to pray for the families of whoever they would ask for food. Our kids dressed up for the fun of it. Before, dressing up was to protect oneself on the day, since they thought that the worlds were kind of blurred together and that the living, that the dead were walking with the living. So they dressed up to kind of blend in so that they couldn't be harassed by an evil spirit, so they all looked the same. We leave jack-o'-lanterns for fun, so the trick-or-treaters know, hey, go there for candy. And they used to carve scary faces so that spirits would not enter your home, and that's why they would leave food out, so that they would be pleased when they got to your doorstep and not try to enter your home. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. I enjoy talking about it. Some of the superstitions that we have that are Halloween originated slightly. Ghosts, now I think people kind of fear them. Back in the day, hanging out with a ghost for a day was a cool thing. They enjoyed it. We avoid crossing paths with black cats because black cats are bad luck, we think. But before, in the Middle Ages, they thought witches turned themselves into black cats. We avoid walking under ladders because ancient Egyptians thought triangles were sacred. I hope you guys have a good day. I enjoyed talking with you. Time is up. Have a good one.